guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry if this angle is super weird and the lighting is super weird. I'm currently in my hotel room. It's about 8:30 at night and I wanted to film this and I just haven't had the time to, but I've had people ask for this and have private messaged me about the company that I work for, so I thought, why not? Like I was saying, as you guys can probably tell by the title, we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of traveling as a medical assistant. I know you guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so I just wanted to share some things that I think would help you if you want to start this journey on traveling as an MA or even as a CNA. You guys, it's all possible. There's so many job opportunities out there right now, so keep watching. Okay guys, so if you see me looking down at all throughout the video, it's just because I have my computer here and I wrote out some bullet points that I wanted to share with you guys that I think would be super helpful as you make this transition into traveling. Okay, so one of my first tips in getting into traveling is really determining on whether or not traveling is the right fit for you. There is so many different avenues when it comes to traveling. There are local travel contracts, there are different state travel contracts, there are long-term travel contracts, short-term travel contracts, crisis travel contracts. There's so many different kinds of contracts out there. Are you willing to learn a new system every 6 to 18 weeks? Are you willing to move? That's one of the biggest things. Are you willing to actually move? Are you willing to be away from your family, miss holidays? Like, these are some really important questions to ask yourself when it comes down to traveling. Especially right now, I think one of the biggest things is, are you willing to work with COVID patients? That's the reality of the situation that we're living in right now. As a medical assistant, I have transitioned into working in the hospital as a patient care tech, as a medical assistant, as a phlebotomist, as all those things, because, you know, the license kind of covers all of that. So are you willing to do those things? Because, you know, it's the need, you know? So those are just some things that I think you need to take into consideration when you're thinking about taking a travel assignment. One of the big things when it comes to traveling is finding a company that fits your needs. Remember, you are the one that is making that company the money. You are very valuable. You are the one that is bringing them this revenue because your travel agency is getting paid for sending you to this site or this hospital, you know, so keep that in mind. One of the biggest things that I would say, you guys, is do your research when it comes to travel agencies. Especially right now, there are so many crisis travel agencies out there. There's a lot of money to be made and a lot of companies that will tell you, you know, the great things that you want to hear, but if you're not doing your research, like, you're gonna be the one that's affected, you know. Sometimes a travel agency might not provide housing, might not provide a housing stipend, might not provide per diem. Those are the things that you need to do your research into. If it's a local travel agency, are you going to get per diem? Are you going to get a living expense? Those are the things that you need to do your research on when deciding on the best travel company to work for. You know, other things to think about as well is contract length. Does your company only do, you know, longer contracts? I had a company approach me that wanted me to sign on with them that only offered contracts that were about 18 weeks long and only had an option of being considered their traveler or transitioning into a hospital employee role, which then means you would no longer be considered a traveler and would no longer get travel pay, if that makes sense. So especially right now, if you're thinking about getting into crisis traveling, there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of companies that are gonna toot their own horns to try to pull you away from rival companies. Truly, honestly, compare these companies. Get into Facebook groups. I know my company has a Facebook group. Actually, a lot of companies that I did research on today have Facebook groups so that you can share experiences and questions about this company. That way, you know, you're not left in the dark and you're able to see what other people's experiences are. So just know what you're getting into, do your research, compare. You guys, do not be afraid to ask questions. You're the one that's putting yourself at risk. You're the one that's making this monumental step Ask questions. It is okay to be the newbie. Don't let people make you feel dumb, okay? Okay, guys, so along the lines of finding a company that fits your needs, I think one of the biggest things is knowing where to find these companies. Obviously, word of mouth is some of the biggest ways to find companies. You probably have travelers in your hospital working with you right now. I would honestly ask them, like, hey, who do you work for? Like, I'm interested in this. And seeing like what they say about their company. And always, there's Facebook and Google, you guys. I Googled the 10 top travel agencies in 2020, and I got a whole list of companies I personally have never worked for. I was like, wow, there is so many other travel companies out there besides mine. You know, Google is going to be a huge help for you in that aspect. My company that I'm currently with also does a lot of their postings through Facebook. I'm just going to list off a couple of companies to work that are considered like crisis traveling companies, I guess you could say. One of the big ones, of course, is Favorite. They work like out of Florida, I think, maybe New York and Iowa, Denver, I think. They kind of have those different cities. There's Angel Staffing. They work over a lot of different places, I've heard. There's Crucial Staffing. I know they were in New York as well as in Texas. I'm going to put some of the companies right here on the screen for you guys so you can see. I'm also going to leave a lot of links in the down bar for you guys. Check those out. All these companies that I just listed off have Facebook pages so that you guys can go. I'll link them down below as well so that you guys can go ahead and check them out and see their postings. Okay, guys. So you guys, that's all the tips I have for you. One last thing I do want to say is, you know, in any travel position, whether it is long-term traveling in different states or if it's, you know, immediate crisis traveling, hurricanes, COVID, any kind of pandemics like that, know your worth and know your limitations, you guys. I have worked with a lot of medical professionals in my time doing this that have burned themselves out because they felt invincible because the money was great and, you know, weren't really prepared for what it's like being a traveler, what it's like in some situations. Crisis traveling with my company, we don't get to bring our family with us. We're by ourselves. We work 6 days in a row. And it's hard, but you know what? Sometimes you have to live like no one else in order to live like no one else. But that's just be responsible, you guys. Be smart, be safe, all those kinds of things, because, you know, there's only one you out there in the world and we need you. So yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't ramble. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I don't know. I hope all the things. I hope you were able to learn something, have your questions answered. If I missed anything, please feel free to ask me down below. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. I do post on there basically daily about, you know, being a traveler. You can see a lot of firsthand intakes of what I don't add in my vlogs sometimes. So yeah, don't forget to check out my medical assistant day in the life vlogs up here in the corner. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll see you next time.